Press release by the Indigenous People of Biafra Ipob. December 3, 2023. Enugu Governor, under pressure from the presidency to blackmail Ipob as Supreme Court judgment of MAZI NNAMDI KANU draws closer. The attention of the global movement and family of the Indigenous People of Biafra Ipob, ably led by NNAMDI MAZI NNAMDI KANU, has been drawn to the unguarded and reckless utterances from the Enugu state governor after his visit to Aso Rock a few days ago. Dr. Peter addressed Ipob as a proscribed organization, and accused us of being responsible for the infamous sit-at-home, because he was under pressure to blackmail Ipob as the Supreme Court judgment of MAZI NNAMDI KANU's case is days away. The shameless Enugu governor forgot that he has publicly condemned Simon Ekpa, the hijacker and enforcer of Monday sit-at-home. Is it not obvious that Enugu state governor would have been under pressure by the Tinubu administration to accuse Ipob of being responsible for the infamous sit-at-home and insecurity in the southeast? That is why he came out yapping as a mad dog and a coward. Enugu governor knew that Ipob initiated Monday sit-at-home and later suspended it after 2 weeks. Our leader, MAZI NNAMDI KANU, also instructed that the sit-at-home be suspended. He is also aware that the Simon Ekpa hijacked the suspended sit-at-home and used it to torment our people. We knew that some people still voluntarily observe Monday sit-at-home because of their love for MAZI NNAMDI KANU and Biafra Restoration Project. Nevertheless, Enugu governor has publicly mentioned that the enforcement of the infamous sit-at-home going on the southeast was from Simon Ekpa. He knew that Simon Ekpa was not an Ipob member and not working for or with MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Why the sudden change of tune? Therefore, we urge the public to ignore the ranting of a cowardice governor who is under pressure from the federal government to demonize Ipob, especially as the Supreme Court judgment of MAZI NNAMDI KANU is days away. Is Enugu governor unaware of how Justice Abdul Kafarati illegally proscribed Ipob with his black market proscription order? Is he not aware that Ipob appealed on the black market proscription is pending before the appeal court in Abuja since 2018, while the Nigeria government keeps frustrating the hearing? What has Ipob done illegally that warranted the useful cowards of then Southeast, the governors, and ONS to proscribe Ipob, if not to please their Fulani masters for the elusive restructuring in Igbo presidency? All the Eastern governors and ONS that participated in the illegal proscription of Ipob that aids the murder of unarmed and peaceful Ipob members and other Biafrans have bought a market that their generations will pay. Ipob has endured a lot from these criminal politicians whose interest is to destroy the aspirations of Biafrans for their selfish political gains. Peter Ba, you must know that Ipob does not have your time and your criminal governance in Enugu state. Did you win an election in Enugu state? You betrayed the trust of Enugu state people. You are responsible for your evil character and your criminal visit with Aso Rock. Be careful lest you become another ignorant governor that will be used to destabilize Igbo land, but if you do, you will not have a place to run to. We must destroy you. Just ask your colleagues and others who thought they can cage or destroy Ipob how market. If you continue to use the Ipob name to buy favor from Tinubu's administration, you are making a costly mistake. Ipob is not a pushover. Our silence, gentleness, quietness, and love for our people should not be mistaken for cowardice. You should be careful that you don't stir up a hornet's nest for your government. We knew that you talk too much, and if you don't know how to speak to the press, you should find another person who does that for you or other means to communicate. Ipob has antibiotics for you people. Many southeastern governors, politicians, and political jobbers in ONS and Igbo have proven that they are irresponsible and stooges to the enemies of Igbo people. As many of them have been mandated by their political masters from the north and west to destroy MAZI NNAMDI KANU. Ipob and ESN are like Iron Dome to Igbo people. Their masters are protecting and empowering their armed groups and terrorists. In the northern Nigeria, you rarely see any terrorists or bandits in detention, but Igbo people arrested and taken to the north. Our so-called governors would be there seeing our people taking to the north for detention. Or have you seen any governor in the north talk against them, the terrorist? These known terrorists like Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Fulani bandits abduct dozens of people weekly, while the northern state governors and the federal government of Nigeria pay millions of dollars in ransom to them. The strategy of kidnapping and ransom payments is an indirect empowerment to the northern terrorists. For instance, Governor Zulum of Borno State recently forgave and pardoned over 160 murderous Boko Haram terrorists with some cash rewards. In the southwest, Yoruba leaders ensured that Sunday Igboho and his fellow Oduduwa agitators were freed and protected. The leaders in these regions know the importance of having courageous youths and activists of any kind. However, in the southeast, some governors and political jobbers antagonize Ipob movement and try to destroy us who are very peaceful. Meanwhile, Ipob is the reason some of them got to where they are today. As many that are working to destroy Ipob today, don't cry when Ipob gives you the same measure in return tomorrow. In Ipob, we don't forget, and we don't forgive. Only cowards and power-drunk useless cowards from the southeast and Biafra will succumb to pressure from the federal/Fulani government to blackmail MAZI, NNAMDI, KANU and Ipob. As the Supreme Court judgment of our leader is fast approaching, Nigerians and the international community should expect many state-sponsored violence in the southeast and the blackmailing of Ipob. Just like the Enugu state governor, Dr. Peter MBA was invited to Aso Rock and pressured to demonize Ipob. Expect other political jobbers to follow suit because our leader's judgment in the Supreme Court is fast approaching. Once again, Ipob call on the Nigerian Supreme Court justices not to succumb to blackmail but to release MAZI, NNAMDI, KANU, whom the Court of Appeal has acquitted and warned that no court in Nigeria should try him. Self-determination is not a crime, but kidnap and extraordinary rendition of a freedom fighter is against international laws and norms. MAZI, NNAMDI, KANU and Ipob cannot capitulate because of blackmail. We have crossed the Rubicon. There will be no retreat, and there will be no surrender. Dr. MBA and other blackmailers have today as their own, but tomorrow shall be for Ipob and other genuine Biafran freedom fighters. Ipob is bigger than what some of you can imagine. Time shall tell. Comrade Emma Powerful, Media and Publicity Secretary for Ipob. Share widely. Stay tuned and have a blessed day.
I grew up bilingual, as did almost all the people I grew up with. We spoke both English and Igbo at home. Sometimes we spoke both English and Igbo in the same sentence. But we were not allowed to speak Igbo in school. It was called, with a derogatory tone, speaking in the vernacular. Even the word vernacular was wrapped in shame. I look back now at the absurdity of it, and also the great sadness of it. How colonialism's most insidious legacy is its ability to make you denigrate that which is yours. My Nigerian education was exclusively in English. Today, I cannot make a philosophical argument in Igbo because my education did not give me the tools. And it fills me with a sense of sadness to know that Igbo for me will always be the language of informality. And so to use Igbo bits in my novel was to show the texture of my world, a world of two languages. I believed it was important to the integrity of my fiction, and perhaps I wanted also to make a political and emotional claim that both languages belong to me, that both languages are fully mine. My father spoke Igbo beautifully. His Igbo was not anglicized like mine, and he didn't throw in English words as my siblings and I did. He was a radiant storyteller. He told stories mostly of his childhood, so often through the years that I came to know the stories myself, and I would sometimes remind him of a detail he had omitted from a previous version. Through my father's storytelling, my grandfather, who died in Biafra during the war, came alive, as did my great-grandmother, a fierce woman who was called a troublemaker. And it is said in my family that I am a reincarnation of her. In those stories my father told, I loved the anecdotes, the proverbs, the wit, the humor. And I would soak them all up, absorb them, store them, and I began to feel a distinct sense of pride about the Igbo culture from which I came. Pride that I came from a wise and humorous and enterprising and just people.